Well, it seems like Los Angeles is proving to be the busiest spot in entertainment right now. Moving on from Essence and the Time Donors, the biggest event in celebrating global stars in film across the world. The Academy Awards is gearing up for a show like never before, taking place at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is set to welcome some of the names. It's on its walkway, and all the walkway's been famed for. But how ready is Hollywood? Well, Kachi Offiah has this report.
It is 2 days to the 95th Academy Awards, Hollywood's biggest night in film, where we will see the cream of the crop from Hollywood and beyond grace what has now become the white carpet. Now, in usual Oscar fashion, we would see a glorious red carpet, against the beautiful sunlight. But this year, the Academy has thought to do things rather differently, giving us a cream carpet and giving us a beautiful red drape. The big question is why? Well, as we try to figure out why this is, as well as just look through what to expect for the Oscars 2023, where host Jimmy Kimmel will be live, it's important to note he actually helped roll out the carpet.
I mean, this carpet is so beautiful. Wait, it's a remnant. We got it for a very good price downtown.
Now we're here at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, where we would find various stars who have been recognized for their contributions to the world of entertainment with these beautiful stars. However, of course, you will find Angela Bassett's star, who is one of the major nominees for this year's Academy Awards. In fact, this is a history-making nomination as the first star nominated in a Black Panther or a Marvel film. Now, what you will find is Angela Bassett, what you can see across her last name is an offensive slang term, P13. You might want to Google what that means. An incredibly offensive black term. Now, for a year where you have a black woman who has been celebrated for her beautiful work and her amazing contribution to the world of film, this is a history-making one, not only for Angela Bassett, but for black people. Well, there are so many nominees amongst these stars. But the truth is, even those who don't get to win still go home with very interesting goodies.
So this is our 21st year putting together this particular gift bag. We call it Everyone Wins. It goes to the nominees in the top acting and directing categories. That's 26 people this year. We have about 6 items in their gift bag. It's actually suitcases. We deliver this in rolling suitcases. This year, one of the suitcases from Havaianas, bright and colorful little burst of summertime. And it's just such a fun consolation prize, if you will. Most of these folks are not going to go home a winner on Sunday, and so even if they don't, they've got $126,000 worth of consolation swag.
And that includes a luxury stay in Italy, lots of luxury skincare products, and even Japanese milk bread. Now, there's also a plot of land in Australia. It is important to note that this is aimed at conserving nature and the environment. And after the glitz and glam of the red carpet, the show officially begins. Now, these stairs leads up to the Dolby Theater, where the show actually happens. The biggest stars in film and television have walked these stairs. Queen Latifah, Anne Hathaway, Glenn Close, Meryl Streep, just name it, they've walked these stairs. Well, away from the stairs, another major part of the Oscars that every single person looks forward to is the Governor's Ball. Now, this, of course, happens just immediately after the Oscars in the hall right behind me. Now, this is a very special event. It's reserved for award winners and some special guests. Now, what's most interesting about this event is the fact that, as usual, it is catered to by Chef Wolfgang Puck. Now, this year is significantly different because he intends to add some very interesting choices, such as his English trifle, as well as fish and chips, to the very traditional menu.
This is the 29 years since we do the Governor's Ball, the Oscar party, and I think it's always fun. It's always something new, just like the movie world. They always have new movies out, so we make new dishes, but also some traditional. We make for years now our smoked salmon Oscars with caviar, and we make the chicken pot pie with black truffles, and we make always different kind of agnolotis.
The fever is building here in Hollywood as fans await the biggest stars in film and television for the 95th Academy Awards. Now, just to show you how interested some fans are, we actually met one super fan.
Oh, my favorite moments? Well, like Halle Berry announcing the first black woman to win the Oscar, and how it's just all these memorable moments. There's so many of them.
Now that is definitely a super fan. Well, here at Arise News, we will be in Hollywood all week, bringing you all the deets from the Academy Awards, the 95th Academy Awards, which takes place this Sunday. Of course, we cannot wait to see. Keep watching. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Hawa Mukan, and we are still live here in Lagos with our correspondents in Los Angeles, Kachi, Offiah, and Judita Dasilva. They're live on the red carpet, or the white carpet, for the 95th Academy Awards. It's the Oscars. Welcome, ladies. So good to have you here another time. How's it going?
Good morning.
Oh.
It's cold. Yeah, literally.
She's me yesterday.
I am.
I'm the smart one today.
Literally.
Seriously.
Yesterday, I literally took Judita's shoes off. It's freezing. So I didn't learn anything, apparently. Zero.
Well, you
To
guys,
do bad things.
you guys might be cold, but you're looking hot. You're looking nice and hot. You know, you're giving what it's supposed to give. So good morning to you, and good afternoon from here. But for the longest time, I guess we've spoken on the battle between streaming platforms and the cinemas. But obviously that matter is settled a little bit. Fresh competition is looming on the horizon. It's a battle between the indies and the big studios. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So to start with, I think this is something that a lot of filmmakers in Nigeria can also relate to. The fact that in Nigeria, we also have a lot of independent filmmakers. And right now, it's interesting because a lot of the movies that get nominated at the Academy Awards are independent films. Now, once upon a time, it's literally impossible to be seen as an indie filmmaker. First of all, you don't have the budget of a big studio behind you financing your marketing, which is a very, very crucial issue for indie filmmakers. You probably don't have the money for big names to have, as actors and actresses in your films. So chances are you're just making a regular film. But then again, at the back of your mind, truth is, I'm probably not going to make a lot of money, so I might as well just putting a lot of heart into this. Now, that heart has started realizing, big things for these filmmakers in the sense that they're getting more nominated more often than not, especially this year. So you have the big studios literally competing with these independent filmmakers, and everyone's asking, are we missing out on something?
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's almost like the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
Because in any filmmaker's trajectory in their career, you start inevitably as an indie filmmaker. You're untested, unproven talent, so you have to get out there with the camera, with the ideas, and just shoot film, and you develop. Then you end up with iconic pieces of first works like Christopher Nolan's Following, or Pi by Darren Aronofsky. That just shows you that there's magic there if you just have an opportunity. But when you get to the situation now post-COVID, cinemas and studios are struggling. They cannot make the kinds of profits they used to make because people are just not going to watch the films. So you have to go back to the drawing board. How much are you willing to invest? That's where the indie movie is a benefit. And when you have studios like A24, since about 2015, this studio has consistently and exclusively invested in indie filmmakers to Oscar-winning success. They partner with a person like Plan B, which Plan B owned by Brad Pitt, and it continues. So from Room to Moonlight to what we're seeing now with Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Whale, Causeway, they're one of those films that they've gone to the grassroots of what makes all these great talents. Because even The Fabelmans that's nominated this year, it's the story of how Spielberg fell in love with film, and he's always told stories of sneaking onto the Universal Studio lot, and when the security guards would come, he'd sneak over the walls, and he's put it in film. If you don't invest in grassroots, you can miss out on magic.
Absolutely. Back to you, Hawa.
All right. Well done, ladies. Let's talk about marketing of these indie films. Because some would say that Star Wars began as an indie film that no one wanted to accept, but others might disagree. But based on this assertion, has Hollywood been able to solve that big problem of indie films marketing?
I wouldn't I don't think that problem has been solved. The George Lucas reference obviously is basically, I think, an inspiration. Because if you think about, the fact that this is someone who literally got his first big break as a result of the fact that he stuck to his ground, was offered about $500,000, and he's like, no, I'm going to stick to my $150,000, director fee, but just let me retain my rights, let me own this. And now he's built this project into something that is beyond what anyone can even imagine. Marketing still remains a big issue because the very crux of indie filmmaking is the fact that you're doing it on your own. Now, marketing
is just a lot of work going on the
by the way.
champagne carpet. Just we'll continue in a moment, and here we are.
Yeah. It's the fact that you're significantly making the movie on your own. So the big question is, how do you have the money, first of all, to send these movies to the theaters? How do you have the money for the big poster rollouts? How do you have the money to promote these films, do the premieres, go around the world, do the marketing? It's incredibly difficult, but I do have to thank streaming. Because what streaming has also done, and also, in a way, post-COVID, most people were stuck on the streaming platform. So that's where a lot of these, indie films would oftentimes end up. Now, because they've ended up on these platforms, it makes it easier for them to be seen and to be recognized. So in a way, I wouldn't say marketing has been solved. I would say it still remains a big issue for a lot of indie filmmakers. Again, I'm going to take you back to Nigeria, where marketing is almost non-existent. I can't even begin to count how many people reach out to me every day. Oh, hey, Kachi, I'm a filmmaker. Can I come on your show? I want to talk about my film. I might be willing to do that, but how many people are willing to do that without asking for a ridiculous amount of money? So definitely it is a big issue.
Yeah, and I think also bouncing off that with the indie thing in Nigeria, that's what we also do at Arise Play, where if you capture people when they are starting out and show them you believe in them, there's an investment they have in you. Look at someone like Christopher Nolan and the partnership he had with Warner Brothers for so long. They believed in him and he was willing to stay there, but obviously business got convoluted and that soured. But the virtue is, when you're doing indie films, you have to do it for the love of it because it may not go anywhere. And then you have miracles like Star Wars or the first Matrix with the Wachowski brothers, or Shawshank Redemption. What will happen is when it's a good film, word of mouth will sell it and it could become a hit. And so I say, again, art will always stand the test of time. Yeah. People still go back to all those great films because they're still the great pieces of art in motion picture history and always will be.
And just in case you missed the drop there, Arise Play, of course, big supporter of indie films. Absolutely. You have the best indie films, including short films, so you can just go subscribe.
See what you guys did there, dropping the good old Arise Play hint. Okay, let's move on. It seems the Academy Awards now, it seems that it's an award show with live TV veterans Glenn Weiss and Ricky Kirshner. They're apparently producing the Academy Awards this year. Are there any special plans up their sleeves?
I think it's kind of steady, reliable hands like Kachi mentioned yesterday, because I think what they've got, they might have the hardest job in recent memory for the Academy Awards. You're coming off the most notorious show you've ever had in 95 years, and what you have to do is recalibrate how you function, get people back to ground zero that, okay, that's happened, but this is who we are. So it's almost like you've had to hit a reset button on one of the oldest institutions in entertainment. That's a very hard thing to do because, especially in the social media generation, everybody's waiting for clickbait. Everyone's waiting for controversy. How do you keep people engaged in something that's simple, honest, and without any drama? You've got to make that drama glitzy. You've got to make it big. You've got to make it dynamic. And that's why they have the incredible array of presenters and also a very unique array of films nominated this year. And I say kudos to them. But again, the proof is in the pudding. You've got to see the show play out smoothly.
Quite honestly, I think Glenn Weiss is a very interesting man. I'll say this because he was available for Envelope Gate with Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, God.
And he also produced The Slab. So you can definitely say Glenn Weiss has produced some of the most controversial Oscars in history. And you ask yourself, why would you come back? Why would you do this again? But clearly...
To put things right.
No, you messed up twice.
You've got to put things right.
Third time is the charm, Glenn Weiss. After this one time, I don't think he can come back from it. But quite honestly, they actually said it better themselves. Let's take a look at this clip of Glenn Weiss and Ricky Kirshner basically just speaking on what they have in store for this year. They call it a movie.
I think that's the beauty of what we do and what award shows are all about is just that, is the unknown. You know, we go in with a really good plan for the known, but you have to be ready for what may transpire that you didn't plan. And, you know, the idea for us is that the old adage, the show must go on, always, no matter what happens on stage, whatever is happening behind the scenes, equipment working, not working, things changing. None of that is going to derail the train. You know, we keep going, so the idea of live television is just that added little piece that makes it really invigorating for us.
We'll also be showing how a film comes together. What does a production designer do? What does a costume designer do? What does a cinematographer do? And instead of a presenter coming out and just saying those words, you'll see it visually within our set, within the clips, and throughout the night. And so you'll really see by the end of the night how a movie is made.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for showing up this afternoon and talking with me. But you do know that we probably have to take a little bit of a short break on this side. You guys stay warm and toasted with your hot selves. We'll be bringing you more surprises from the Oscars when we get back. Well, welcome back to the show. I'm Hawa Mukan, and you're still watching Arise 360. Now, on Tuesday, the 24th of January, the nominations for the 95th Oscars Academy Awards were announced. Fans of cinema all around the world tuned in live to stream and see which of their favorite movies, actors, and crew members would be receiving honors. Like any other year, there were more than a few big surprises and quite a lot of shocking snubs.
Again, to kick off the official countdown to the 95th Oscars on March 12th. For nearly a century now, the Oscars has been the most esteemed celebration of movies in the world. It is a chance for us to showcase the very best films of the past year and for global movie fans to come together as we shine a spotlight on artists working on both sides of the camera. Every year, nominees in most categories are chosen by their peers.
Good morning, everybody. We've been awake all night getting ready for this moment. And we're so excited, so honored, so over-caffeinated to reveal the nominations for the 95th Oscars.
Good morning, everybody. Riz, I am so happy to be here with you. You've been nominated twice and you won an Oscar last year. So I just wanted to know, did you watch this both of those times?
I did watch it, yeah, but I didn't wake up to watch it. And the reason for that is I never really fell asleep in the first place. There was just a lot of anticipation. And I know there's a lot of people who can't wait for us to get started. So without further ado, here are the nominees for performance by an actress in a supporting role. Angela Bassett in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Hong Chow in The Whale. Kerry Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin. Jamie Lee Curtis in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And Stephanie Hsu in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Well, there are the nominees there. Very exciting. But we're going to take another short break. But stay tuned to Arise 360 because we will be bringing you more from the Oscars. All right, so let's go back to the wonderful ladies in Los Angeles. Hi, Kachi and Judita. So we just watched a little clip about the ladies who were nominated. You got any more insights to share with us on this side?
I do think it was, when it came to supporting actress, the one that everyone was kind of shocked by was missing out Dolly De Leon from Triangle of Sadness. Yeah. In this film that was very polarizing, was a Palme d'Or winner at the Cannes Film Festival. she's a scene stealer. She's that character, that performance in this movie that unanimously everybody said, like, okay, the film may not be for me, but Dolly De Leon. I love the film, but oh, Dolly De Leon. So everyone's kind of like, oh, it's a no-brainer. She's going to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. But then you have the debate that who would you pull from that category to put in Dolly? And then people are probably saying Stephanie from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't make that call myself, but I do think that there may be one or two worthy of bumping for the sake of Dolly De Leon.
To be very honest, I think for me, one of the biggest shockers for me within that same category is the fact that Frances McDormand didn't get anything. I think for me that was quite shocking. She's a 2-time Oscar winner to start with. You know, this is not her first rodeo, and there are definitely, again, not to shade anyone, but this was one of those movies that you would say is a shoo-in for a person. Maybe they just felt she has had one too many, you think?
I think it's the issue with women talking as a film.
Yes.
I don't want to get into it because all the feminists will come for me.
Do it.
Okay.
You see, first of all, just do a disclaimer.
Okay,
you know how you do that
disclaimer?
thing.
This is not my opinion. It's just general analysis, objective analysis.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's start.
Okay, so Women Talking is this film based on a true story that deals with abuse of women. It's in a very remote community, and it's kind of, when you think of people have received it on the back of the Me Too movement and the kind of disjointedness between the women who've benefited and those who haven't. It's all too much, if I can say that. And so that's kind of expecting it's a no-brainer that everyone would warm to this film. But I think fatigue is starting to set in, because had that film been all Filipino women, or all Indian women, or Pakistani women, or black women, there might have been a different reception. But it just feels like, okay. And to kind of capitalize on trauma for the sake of awards recognition, people are kind of veering away from that a little bit.
And quite honestly, I think in a way, it's starting to look as though Frances McDormand is, what do we call it when you're sticking to a particular narrative in a story?
Pony?
Exactly, a one-trick pony. We're seeing the face, we're seeing the emotion, we're seeing the dull look, we're seeing the seriousness behind the character, and it's like, what else can we get out of this face? What else can this give us? But definitely, apart from Frances McDormand, there were so many other people that could have gotten nominations. Viola Davis, for instance.
No, but she would have been a lead actress. That was the most harrowing.
Yes.
Like the fact that Ana de Armas made it for Blonde, a film that I frankly to this day don't know why it was made,
Yes.
and it served the singular purpose of just outraging people and shocking people by capitalizing on the trauma of a dead woman.
Yes.
That's just not my thing. The fact that you would give that a nomination and not give Viola Davis one, or Daniel Deadwyler for Till, it boggles my mind. I just have to say it really does.
But you know, here's an unpopular opinion. One, the fact that Viola Davis's performance in The Woman King, would you really call that an Oscar-winning performance? If we did not have the likes of Andrea Riseborough, for instance, in that same category.
See, that's
If she wasn't there, if we didn't have the likes, because the truth is, when you reduce the bar, then you ask yourself, is it really the problem, or is it just the fact that you've reduced the bar so much that we're like, listen, if they're here, there's no way this should not also be here.
Is me. I'm returning serve.
Yeah,
if you're going to give it to, if you're going to nominate, we were talking about this yesterday, Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh's performance in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is why everyone's so impressed by it is range. But while also maintaining the identity of what it is to be a Chinese mother in a very closed community in Western society. Beautiful performance. When you look at Viola Davis, what she's doing is depicting a very particular bracket of women that actually existed in historical Africa.
Yeah.
And what she does is, it's the first time I've seen an all-female action movie keep me captivated from beginning to end. Normally it's very gimmicky, or the women are so invincibly strong because they're so feminist. It's beggars belief. This was credible. It was really well done. The pacing was beautiful, and she was so worthy of investing in from beginning to end. That's an Oscar-worthy performance.
Okay, agreed. That's possible. But then again, let's bring in the Diane Deadwyler conversation.
Yeah.
The fact that, one, that Till is a very poignant story. One, in the sense that there's so many people around the Black Lives Matter around the story. There's so many people that are still silent on the situation. They really do not want to comment on it.
Yeah.
And then there's also those who would say, it's a film. At the end of the day, it was a movie, but is it the story that warrants that Oscar nomination, or is it her acting? We've got to separate the issues.
Return serve. I think it's because Till received the same reception as Women Talking. When you're dealing with something that's so jarring, so visceral, so brutal, sometimes the human reaction is, okay, enough. And everyone knows Emmett Till's story is the most harrowing tale that you could ever hear. And I think that's kind of what happened, that it was too much. Because at the same time, members of the Academy are also black, and if they'd voted, it could have gotten in. And I think some of them didn't, because you do get to a point where you have trauma fatigue. That's what happened to Women Talking, that's what happened to Till.
You know, 7 back.
Okay.
It is, you have trauma fatigue, but for some reason that trauma fatigue was non-existent when Andrew Riseborough got nominated.
Okay, yeah.
That was non-existent.
Oh my gosh,
when
we
the
need to
nomination.
talk about this on Arise News.
Really?
It's only on Arise News we can talk about
No one else
this.
is talking about it.
You want to know what happened with Andrew Riseborough? White woman privilege.
100%.
That's the only reason she's in the category.
Yep.
I'd never say this anywhere else, but probably get beaten up.
Yes.
But that's why she's in the category.
Doesn't make... Okay, so here's what, let me the lowdown of the story. To Leslie, a fantastic film, lovely, she did a great job in it. And let's start by saying that this is what you could categorize this in a way as an indie movie.
Yeah,
100%.
and it's a great performance.
It's a great performance she did, honestly speaking. The reason I would say categorize as an indie film is it was distributed by a little less known,
Pictures.
not known, wasn't giving. Box office did less than $30,000. It wasn't one of those movies you would say, oh my goodness, this is fantastic art. But it was a great film. Now the thing is, out of the blue, during the Oscar nominations, as you would have watched earlier on in the show, they announced Andrea Riseborough as Best Actress nominee. And there was literally like, how did this happen?
They were like, because most people hadn't even seen it. So most of them it's like, what film, what, huh? That's what happened.
So there was a whole conversation around, the possible lobbying that went into getting her this nomination, which included, very popular people such as Jane Fonda, Gwyneth Paltrow, basically just posting, talking about the film, which possibly could have influenced.
And I have to put in conspiracy theory, powerful white women in high places.
Yes, true. You added that part. That's very important, which possibly led to that nomination coming in. So in the grand scheme of things, let's not even begin to talk about Ana de Armas again, because that Blonde movie was incredibly criticized. People thinking she did not emulate the character in the way that it should. And again, it was just a very traumatizing film. No one needs to remember the subjectivity that, she had to deal with. No one needs to see that. So when you look at the grand scheme of things, Ana de Armas, Andrea Riseborough getting nominations, you don't ask yourself, where was that fatigue when Viola Davis didn't get nominated and Danielle Deadwyler didn't get nominated? Where was that exhaustion from the trauma of the film? Where was all of that when these two people got nominated?
Because remember, who was lobbying for Ana de Armas? Matt Damon and Brad Pitt. Need I say more?
So it's a lot going on there behind the scenes that only Arise News would tell you.
All the tea is right here. You just need to come to us for it.
Yes, back to you, Hawa.
Please, my ears are ringing from all of this extra tea and expo you gave us. Judita, the race police is waiting for you back in London. You better be careful. And like I said, Kachi, we're waiting for you here in Lagos when you get back. But that was a lot of really good information. Thanks for giving us the insights, and it's a perspective. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It is one perspective, and I'm just really looking forward to see who's going to take it home at the end of the day, because while we also have certain nominations or certain nominees that we definitely cannot agree with, there are actually some that definitely deserve it. And I think at the end of the day, when you now look at the entire list, who would you say is definitely shoo-in to win this?
See, the only one that I say is a shoo-in is Kate Blanchett for lead actress for Tar.
Yes.
She's mesmerizing in that film, and it's a career highlight of a very stellar career. But one thing that I'm quite excited to see is it going to be Austin Butler or Brendan Fraser? I don't know, because they kind of split it over the course of the season. Everybody said it was going to be Brendan Fraser will be a clean sweep. But after the BAFTAs, I'm like, I don't know. Because remember, Lisa Marie Presley passed away, so there's a wave of emotion behind the film. Austin Butler did a great performance, but then I just don't know. I love this.
You know what it will be? By the way, we're speaking about the Best Actor nominees, which, by the way, every single person on that list is a first-time nominee. If Brendan Fraser takes it home, it's hard to say because both are very emotional.
Yeah.
You know, Brendan Fraser has The Whale. It's a very, very intriguing story. Austin Butler is that, you know, just heartthrob. Everybody loved him. He's, you know, this new face in Hollywood. He's not a new face in Hollywood, but he's literally like the shiny new toy.
Shiny new toy.
Yes.
The one, yeah.
Everyone is really excited about the fact that he played Elvis. Could this also be their own way of paying tribute? Because we know the Oscars likes to do tribute.
Yeah.
We know that.
And the fact that the entire Presley family said that finally a film that really depicts Elvis the way he should be. So there's so much behind it, because that's the thing about the Oscars that we all know, the politics behind the scenes. That's what drives the voters, the members of the Academy to vote. So that's probably going to be my most exciting category to watch, because I don't know who's going to get it. Normally I can make a call, but I can't make a call on this one.
To be honest, if I were in the Elvis family and Bohemian Rhapsody got an Oscar and I didn't get an Oscar, I'd be very upset.
But okay, let me just say this. I have some very hardcore Nigerian brothers who aren't impressed by anything. I told them, just watch The Whale. And I literally got a bunch of messages on family chats that said, yeah, give Brendan Fraser the Oscar.
Yeah, he has
it's that
to
kind
and
of performance.
He's going to give a stellar speech. He's going to talk about everything. He's going to call people out.
Yes, he might.
He's going to do that.
He's in that phase of his career.
He is. He doesn't really care anymore.
Tells the truth.
Yeah. How back to you?
That's what happens when you get ostracized by a large chunk of the entertainment industry for a while. It seems that a couple things. I hope that Brendan Fraser does well as well. We know that he's been an amazing actor since Encino Man. I don't know if you guys remember that movie from the late 80s, early 90s. Very great movie. And let's just hope Austin Butler has lost that annoying accent that he keeps speaking with, that southern accent he keeps speaking with. Anyways, ladies, we're gonna take another really short break. We will be back to you very soon, but you guys out there, please stay tuned to Arise 360. We'll be bringing you more from the Oscars with Judita and, of course, Kachi. Well, welcome back to Arise 360. I'm Hawa Mukan, and let's talk about the streamers. They took a back seat to Oscar nominations this year, earning roughly half of at least a year's tally. Netflix, Apple, and Amazon, they all had 19 total nominations, down from 37, the combined 37 the streamers received last year. Well, ladies, welcome back, welcome back. Still with me in the studio for all of you who might just be tuning in. Of course, I have Kachi, Offiah, and Judita Dasilva with me live on the Oscars red or white carpet, depending on what time of day it is. Welcome back, ladies. Why do you think more traditional films get more attention than the movies released on streaming platforms such as Netflix and Disney Plus?
Well, I mean, there's so many. Would I say they get more attention? Maybe before. I wouldn't say they get more attention anymore. I would say right now there is definitely the balances. I won't call it a perfect balance, but we're getting there. I wouldn't say they get more attention anymore. However, what I will say is when it comes to the movies released via streaming platforms, for this year, we have a couple of them. Apple TV Plus has its own film, that Causeway, I believe.
Causeway is A24.
A24, sorry. And then, of course, you have
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Exactly, Netflix's movie as well. Now, they don't have a lot of nominations this year, to be very honest, but usually they will have a number of nominations, for the Academy Awards. So I wouldn't say they take a back seat. Again, look at Coda. That was an Apple TV Plus special, and they did a fantastic job. They did win at the end of the day. So I wouldn't say they're taking the back seat. It still just boils down to the art of the filmmaking at the end of the day. But for this particular nomination, which is 2023, I would say a lot of streaming platform films didn't get the nominations in the big categories. It was more like, adapted screenplay and the likes. Best actress or supporting actress, but nothing. Look at Blonde, for instance. Ana de Armas getting a Best Actress nomination for Netflix. Now, it's not about the movie, it is about the actress. So, yeah, they took a backseat this year, but usually they do pretty good.
Yeah, I think also because the conversation is pretty much concluded, streamers like Netflix, like Disney Plus, they're basically a movie studio now. Yes. They function like a movie studio. They invest in movies like a movie studio. When you think about the money they gave to The Irishman, those are studio budgets because they have the money in their coffers. So I think now, because everyone's getting to a point of acceptance that streamers are the modern day movie studios, you now have to find out where is the pendulum going to swing next. And like we said, it's going to indies. So when you have studios that, okay, I don't need to be big, I'm going to be known for quality. That's what A24 is. And you will see it in time to come. I think like they say, over time, life always resets. It's going to go back to where movie making begins, which is simple storytelling and great art.
Absolutely.
Fashion is quite cyclical, and actually I was asking that question about the streaming platforms to be a bit of a rabble-rouser because honestly I can't tell you the last time I went into a movie theater. Every movie I watch, if it's not on Netflix or on Amazon, it's probably not getting watched like from the comfort of my home. And I think a lot of people are like that too in this post-COVID world where it's just more convenient to pick up your tablet or whatever and watch something rather than going somewhere and sitting amongst a crowd of unwashed masses and queuing for tickets. And I also did see Blonde, and that one was quite harrowing. I wonder how I forget the lead actress in the movie. I know it's Ana de Armas. I know it's one of her first nominations, and I know you guys touched on that. I'm wondering if she's going to take home the Golden Idol this evening. But actually, what the rest of the world wants to know, apart from what Howard just wants to gist with you two on TV about, they're talking about sequels, the power of sequels. We all know that this is a big trope within Hollywood. You make one, hey, it makes a lot of money, let's make another one. So, of course, Avatar and Top Gun, those are the two that they're saying have saved the movie theater and the box office so far. I haven't seen either. Actually, I saw the first Top Gun and it was amazing. I haven't seen either of the Avatars or this second Top Gun. What do you think about Avatar, The Way of Water, and Top Gun Maverick?
Kachi's about to just start having palpitations because you haven't seen Avatar. She's about to go. She's going to go to move to the Hollywood Hills to audition for Avatar 3 because she's probably found James Cameron's house. Okay. That's how bad she is.
No, see. Okay, let's not do this. Let's not do this today, okay? I'm just going to keep, because we all know how I feel about James Cameron and Avatar, but we always talk about this, Drew, about the fact that sometimes we do not need a sequel. Yeah. But clearly, this year's list has proved that sometimes maybe you do need a sequel. Top Gun Maverick.
In the right hands.
In the right hands, exactly. Tom Cruise hands, or James Cameron's hands, or maybe Wakanda Forever hands,
These don't talk about Latino Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
let's not get into that.
Oh, did you call him Latino Panther?
It's Latino Panther Wakanda Forever.
And this is where we end the show. It's just called wow. But you see, either way, they did it. They got nominated for some things, and it was a great show. So yeah, big gift for sequels. I'm excited to see if Top Gun or Avatar will really take home any of those best pictures, but I really doubt it.
Well, my ladies, I hate to love and leave you. You look so great. It's been so much fun. I'm sure this weekend is going to be lots of surprises and hijinks, and I'm sure you ladies are more than capable of covering it. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Have a nice warm afternoon or morning in LA. And for you guys out there, we have a new trailer for you to see. Yes, it's one of these Oscar-nominated movies that we've been talking about. It's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So before I leave you to enjoy the trailer, first of all, let me say goodbye from all of us here in Lagos, as well as our studios in Abuja and London. And remember to catch us every weekday, 5 p.m. right here on Arise News Channel. So until tomorrow, I'm Hawa Mukan. This has been Arise 360. Thank you for watching. Actually, till Monday. I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.